Hey guys, you can grab a pillow for today's class. We're going to do a bunch of stuff where we are lying on the ground. So if you want to, put your legs up on the pillow, you can, but go ahead and grab that pillow, or even two if you want. Instead of our usual seated position that we normally take when we're doing our warm-up, we're actually going to be on the ground, our backs on the ground. So I always take the pillow and I put it underneath my legs because it's a little bit more comfortable. So go ahead and come onto your backs. Again, optional pillow if you want, putting it just underneath your legs. You can also put it underneath your hips if you want. You're going to lie back. Again, legs could be bent or straight. I want you to put your hands on top of your stomach, and we're going to do a little bit of belly breathing just to begin. Same idea here as when we normally start, where we're lifting up and falling down, letting our weight really fall into the mat. But this time, I really want you to focus on lifting your belly up with breathing. So instead of breathing and letting your chest open, I want you to breathe and let your stomach expand. And then exhale, let your stomach and your thoracic and your lumbar spine really fall deep into the mat. Close your eyes. Start with that same ratio that we always do, that 2-4. Or if you feel like, because this is a little bit of a different breathing, if you feel like doing a ratio of 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, that's okay too. I rest my hands on top of my stomach. I'm going to feel as the air enters my belly, lifts up the belly, and then sinks back down. If you're not used to belly breathing, this is probably going to feel a little bit uncomfortable at first. And so as you work on it, it will start to feel a little bit more comfortable. When I first started doing belly breathing, it was very unnatural feeling because I was so used to breathing in my chest. And not in my belly. So give it a few breaths, lifting up, expanding that belly, and relaxing it down. This is important breathing to do because so much and so often, whatever we do throughout the day, we tend to hold our stomach in and constantly keeping our abs kind of tight and in check, and we need to be able to relax them. So relax that belly all through breathing. Up and down. Down. Once you get used to it, you can move your hands. I just keep my hands on my stomach to just help connect with that breathing. Take about 5 more deep breaths here. And take one more up. Fill that belly with air. Exhale, let it drop down. I'm going to move the pillow. If you are using the pillow, if you're not using the pillow, you don't have to do anything. Go ahead and bring your legs up into a bent position. Feet are flat on the ground. Keep your shoulder blades on the ground. Arms can come out like a T, and you're just going to windshield wiper your legs to the side. Goal here is to keep shoulders on the ground. So legs can be staggered. We'll later on do one where our legs are together right after this, but right now we're just going to keep them staggered. Let it fall to the side. Arms can also be out like a T. They don't have to be like cactus arms, and they don't have to rest on your stomach. Deep breathing here. Trying to notice where you're holding that breath. Are you automatically going back to your chest, or are you still breathing through your belly? On the exhale, go ahead and switch those legs over. Switching to the other side. Breathe in, out. Remember, shoulder blades should be on the ground. Don't worry if your knees don't touch. That's okay. Sometimes they hover. It's going to take them a little bit to get warmed up. This next variation where our knees stay stacked together, that's a little bit harder to keep the shoulders on the ground, so do your best that you can. If you have a hard time with it, you can grab that pillow again, and I'll show you how you can use it. You're going to exhale, go ahead and bring these legs back up. Now go ahead and put your feet together, knees touching. Arms are doing the same thing that they were doing in that last position. And when you fall to the side, it's going to be really tempting to let this top leg stagger. So the top part of my knee wants to come and fall about the inside part of this knee, but I want them to stay together. So I want them to remain stacked. So you're going to let them fall as far as you can. If you can get all the way to the ground while they're stacked, that's awesome. It is hard to do, and my shoulder wants to come off the ground. So to make sure everything is proper, I'm going to put the pillow, and you can put as many pillows as you need. I'm going to let my knees stacked, perfectly stacked, knee on top of knee, fall onto this pillow. And maybe as I'm holding it, I feel a little more comfortable. Maybe my thoracic spine, my lumbar spine has loosened up a little bit, and I can remove the pillow. But for right now, the pillow is going to do wonders for me because it can make sure everything is in alignment. Breathe here. Trying to relax. So my mid-back is, a little bit tight right now. So as I'm holding this, I'm just focusing on my breathing, and I'm trying to, as I exhale, relax anything that I can to the best of my ability. So when we feel uncomfortable or in a position that's a little harder than usual, we tend to create a little bit more stress and a little bit more tension, like we tense up. So try to relax up that tensing up feeling. Fall deeper onto your mat. Still trying to keep everything in line. Knee on top of knee, shoulders on the ground. Still noticing where you're breathing, stomach or chest. Our goal for most of the class is to breathe through your stomach or through the belly. So if you're switched back to chest breathing, try to draw it back down to the belly. On this exhale, let's go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to move my pillow over to the other side. But before I use it, I'm going to check and see where this side is at. Because if I don't need the pillow, then I'm not going to use it. So legs stacked. I feel way more comfortable on this side. So I don't need to have the pillow down. My shoulder blades can comfortably be on the ground, and my knees are still stacked. So I'm going to hold it here without using the pillow. Now you may need the pillow on this side, and that's okay too. Again, here, closing eyes, focusing on your breathing. Trying to relax that tension that we create. A lot of tension builds up in our muscles and in our body through actions of the day. And sometimes those things are just things that we can't prevent, and it's the way our bodies just react. But what we can help to work on and prevent is that tension that we create in the moment. So when we tense up, that it's like that fight or flight response almost. We tense up, we can control that kind of tensing, relaxing the body down. Breathing, letting our muscles completely let go of the day. On this exhale, let's go ahead and come back to the middle. We're doing several things on our back. So we're going to go into a happy baby now. So go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Before we start that though, we're going to just do a couple of little circles. Rolling around. Rolling around. Now we're going to do happy baby, and then we're going to be doing a few glute bridges in between. So we're going to do happy baby about 3 times, but in between we're going to do something a little active for our glutes. Breathe, rolling. Now if you are drawing circles, or if you're just rocking back and forth, keep rocking back and forth. If you were drawing circles like I was, Just make sure you switch the direction. Breathe. All right, one more little circle. All right, now from here, we're gonna come into Happy Baby. Knees are gonna come up. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that we can do Happy Baby that we've done before. You can grab behind your knees, and this is really good if you just don't have quite that mobility to grab the feet and keep your shoulders on the ground. Again, shoulders on the ground, driving your knees towards the ground. So if you feel like you can go a little bit further, grab your shins, and you can lift off the ground for this. Grab those shins and then lie back down, shoulder blades actively trying to get on the ground, right? Pull those legs towards the ground. Of course, you can hook onto your big toe. You can also grab the flat part of your foot or the arch of your foot and draw those knees in towards the ground here. Usually too, what I do if I need it is I'll press out with my elbows against the inner part of my knees too. You don't want your feet together. You want them to be wider than hip width apart. And we're just holding here. Breathe. You can rock side to side. I kind of automatically start rocking without even trying. And so if you don't just start rocking, you can hold it stable in the same position, or you can go and rock side to side like I am. Breathe. One more deep breath. Exhale, go ahead and release. Have your feet hip width apart. We're gonna bring our hips up, squeeze those glutes, and I want you to go past your midpoint. So let's say this is about straight. I want you to push those glutes up towards the ceiling. You should feel a stretch in the front of your hip flexors. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Pushing your weight through your heels, hold. Breathe, I'm actively pushing my knees too, a little bit away from the midline of my body. So don't let those knees fall in, and relax. We're gonna do 3 of those. Come all the way down. Feel free to let your legs kind of rock side to side. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Back up again. Remember, don't stop at that perfectly nice straight line. You're going past it. You're squeezing those glutes. Squeeze. Push the ground away with your heels. You're using your glutes. You're not using your low back. So this would be low back, right? I'm using my low back to push it up. Here, I'm generating the movement from my glutes. Push, push, push. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, come down. So what it means to not use that low back is when you get to that nice straight line part. I'm not going to be pushing my back anymore at that part. I'm only using my glutes because obviously you use your low back in this. So when we come up, and we're going to do one more right now. So come up to that neutral position. I could easily switch. So this is me lifting with my back. Do you see how my hips have dropped? And my glutes are now lower than my abdomen, right? So there's like a little dip. So that's lifting with my back, as opposed to coming up to neutral and then squeezing my glutes. So see how my glutes are now higher. My hip bone is actually higher than my abs. That's what you want in a glute bridge. You want your glutes to be doing the work and not your low back. Our low back does so much all day long, right? And comes from poor posture, and I'm guilty of all of these things too, sitting too much. So we want to make sure, go ahead and drop it down. We want to make sure that when we're doing certain movements, we don't wear it out anymore. All right, let's come back into that happy baby pose. Grab those feet, grab those ankles behind the knees, however you can get into that position. Driving those knees down. Feet are wider than hip width apart. Again, if you just want to hold it still, or if you feel like rocking side to side, go ahead and do that. Breathe. We're kind of the theme of opposite motions today. So this way, it's the complete opposite of a glute bridge. So we're hitting both sides of our body. rock back and forth. Feel free to close your eyes. This is your resting point. Exhale, bring those feet down. Driving those heels into the mat, coming up again, midpoint, or that nice flat line. Then squeeze those glutes. Power those glutes up towards the ceiling. You're holding, you're squeezing. Actively push those knees away from the midline of your body. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And up again. Lifting up to that midpoint, then glutes taking over, full stretch, push towards the ceiling, push through the heels, knees pushing out away from you. Breathe. All these things are super subtle movements, so a lot of times when you think something's going to be big and obvious, it's not. It's small little movements that you have to take within a movement and make so much of a difference. Come down, breathe. This is what I like to do in between. I just rock my legs back and forth. You don't have to do this with me, but it just feels nice on that low back. It's nice on the glutes. Okay, we're going up one more time. Pushing, pushing. Squeeze those glutes, making sure that our hips are now higher than our abs, right? So our low back is not taking over. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breathe. Nice exhale. Come back into happy baby once again. Grabbing onto those feet, those toes, those shins, or the back of your knees. Rocking side to side if you choose. Same thing as before. If you feel that, because this can be a little bit of an awkward position, might feel a little uncomfortable. If you're holding on to that tension, then make sure you relax your body. Fall deep into the mat, shoulder blades on the ground. Breathe. One more inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and put those legs down. All right, we're gonna stretch out our legs in front and we're gonna lift up our bodies. We're gonna come into a seated forward fold. Now, this is not always the most comfortable for everybody because it has to do with our hamstrings. So if your hamstrings are really tight, you might wanna grab that same pillow that we used before. My hair is already coming out. You can sit on this pillow as you do it, and that will help. And you can literally put a whole stack of pillows underneath you, because this is going to just help your hamstrings feel a little bit better. My hamstrings are a little bit tight from a workout that I did, so I'm actually going to keep the pillow for myself because I don't want to overdo it. Another way of doing this is just bend your knees. So give your hamstring a little bit of a break. It's no use in trying to overstretch a hamstring that's already super tight, and it can do more harm than good. So modify however you need to. You're gonna hinge from your hips. We're gonna do two different variations. We're gonna do a proper one, I'm gonna say, where you hinge from your hips, you keep your back straight, and then we're gonna do a curved spine stretch because it's just gonna kind of feel good on our mid-back. So starting with the proper one, right, where we hinge from our hips, I actually put my hands in where I can feel my hip bone, and I like to push it back even though I'm not doing anything. I push it back to just mentally make myself hinge from the hips, push my tailbone kind of back away from me. I'm relaxing my feet too. I'm not curling them up towards me, and I'm only hinging as far forward as I can keep my back straight. I don't have a super impressive forward fold. I have flexibility in my hamstrings, but I'm not hyper flexible. So this is about as impressive as I can get. So hinge forward as far as you can go. Remember, you're not rounding your back yet. Hinging, I'm even gonna bend my knees a little bit today because that's what I feel like I need. So hinging forward as much as I can. Breathe. Shoulders are drawing back. I'm trying to keep that chest open, and then I'm gonna come back up. Breathe. And then this time, I'm gonna kind of think of curving my spine vertebrae by vertebrae. So I'm rounding it down. I'm gonna walk my hands out. And if you can touch your toes, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. Don't press it. I'm gonna just relax my arms and I'm gonna hang my head. Breathing here. Feel free to have these knees slightly bent. Either on or off the pillow. Breathe. Slowly round that back. Start straightening up vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll those shoulders back. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back. You won't need the pillow anymore, so you can move it now or you can keep it underneath you. It's optional for this next part. It won't really make a huge difference whether you have it or not. So hands are behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and really find whatever position is comfortable for your wrists. You can do fingers pointing away. That's what I'm gonna be doing. If that feels too uncomfortable, then go at like a 45-degree angle with your hands. That actually feels the most comfortable to me. So I kind of find a happy medium between straight back and 45. Now I'm gonna round my chest. I'm gonna push my chest up towards the ceiling. Stretching out. I'm gonna let my head fall back, and just so y'all can see what it looks like without the pillow, it's gonna look the exact same. I'm rounding my back. Deep inhale, letting my head fall. Squeezing my shoulder blades together. And then now, I'm gonna come back forward. Hands are gonna come right kind of above my knees. So even if you can't stand up or sit up straight, that's okay. Again, you can use the pillow here. But we're gonna do a rounded back, kind of like we're doing a version of cat-cow. So rounding the back, and then bringing the arms back behind us. I exhale as I open up my chest, head comes down. And forward, rounding the back. Hands come back. Find your own pattern of breathing here. Now we're going to take this a step further in just a couple of breaths. If you're too tight for this next part, it can get a little bit hard. Just stay here doing this same motion, back and forth. Breathe. All right, now where it's going to change is when I come back here, I'm going to then bend my knees and I can come up into a full reverse tabletop. Now, where this looks like where I'm generating the most energy is in my hips because they're going to be going up towards the ceiling like we just did with our glutes. But really where you're going to feel it the most is in your shoulders. So if you have tight shoulders or tight anything in your upper back, this is going to not, you probably won't get to a level position. So I'll show you what I mean. Hands are in the same position that they were of what I was just doing, and same idea here, you're generating that motion up, but this time we're just lifting our hips. Now you could be here and you could get a good stretch in your arms. If this is too tight, then stay on the ground. You can even bend your knees as you do it and do the same thing here instead. Otherwise, drive those hips up towards the ceiling. Your goal is to get parallel to the ground as best you can. All right, pushing up, up, up. Breathe. This almost has actually nothing to do with your hips as it does with your arms. So come down, rest for a second. Breathe. If you felt like that one was just a little too intense, then stay on the ground for this next one. All right, coming back up, rocking forward. I want to make sure all my joints are in line. So my ankles are underneath my toes. My ankles are underneath my knees, and my wrists are stacked underneath my shoulders. Breathe and down. Good. Take a second. We're going to do one more. Deep breath. Exhale up. Driving those glutes, even though your glutes really aren't working here, it's all those shoulders. And down. Breathe. All right, straighten out your legs, shake out your arms. Legs are straight. We're gonna take our right leg and we're gonna cross it over. Foot is gonna come right on the outside of that knee, or at least as close to it as you can. Don't worry if it's not perfect. All right, now you're going to generate kind of a twist from this torso. So on your left arm, you're gonna put your left arm behind you, and we're actually gonna be twisting to both sides. So we're gonna start left and then we're gonna move right. So leg stays here. I am going to keep my right arm just extended straight out. That's the most comfortable way for me to do it. But you can also do your arm bent like this. You can also, grab however you want to. You could grab your ankle and also do a twist like that. So once your left hand is back behind you, exhale so you have space, and then generate that movement from your torso. Look over your left shoulder and put your hand in whatever position you can. Breathe. This should feel really nice on your shoulders and your mid-upper back. Feel free to close your eyes. Keep wringing out that torso. You're trying to twist a little bit deeper every time you exhale. This is getting us ready for the other side, which is going to be a little bit more intense. So come back to the middle. This time, leg stays the same. We're taking our right leg, or our right arm, putting it behind us, taking our left hand, and same thing here. You can do a straight arm, you can do a bent arm, or you can, if you need to even grab like this, like your elbow is kind of hooked in, and you pull the other way. However you can twist and feel comfortable. Right arm is behind. We're twisting, generating from that torso again. Arm gets in place. This arm is going to be an anchor, so it's going to further the twist a little bit. Looking over that right shoulder, bringing out that torso. Breathe. Nice deep breathing, trying to push that twist just a little bit deeper as you exhale. If you're at a computer a lot or you sit throughout the day, this is a stretch that it would be so good for you to do regularly. It really helps get deep into your shoulder blades and those hard to reach areas of your back that get so sore from having to work in front of a computer or in just any seated position. All right, slowly turn back around. We're gonna untwist that side. Let's bring our left leg up and over our right leg. Now we're going to still be on our right side because we're doing the same way we did it on the other side. So the easier twist first. So this right side, right arm is just going to stay back there. Use whatever you need to help with the twist. Breathe, twist, look over that shoulder. This one won't feel nearly as intense as the other side, or as what you just did. Breathe. Twisting from that torso. Let's draw out, bringing out that towel that is your torso. Exhale, come back to the middle. Let's grab this arm, however you're holding it, straight. Left arm now, twist from that torso. Breathe. Look over that shoulder. For some reason, it feels a lot more comfortable for me to have this arm going this direction on this side than it does open. So I'm going to change it a little bit from what I did on the other side. Breathe. Bringing out that torso. Exhaling and pushing deeper into that twist. And release. And breathe. Legs are going to come together. We're going to go into that a little bit of a 90-90 stretch. So make sure your legs are wide enough. You can switch. Now, at this point, you probably should feel a little more comfortable in this stretch because of all the twisting that we've done. The goal is this back leg. Hopefully that knee can hit the ground. If not, you can also grab the pillow and use that to kind of help give it a little bit of support. Breathe. Exhale, go ahead and switch to the other side. Remember, you're trying to get a 90 degree with both legs. I just realized my pants are like a navy blue like this one, and it basically just blends in right in with my mat, so sorry about that. Breathe. Now we're going to be doing kind of a deeper hip stretch. It's one of our last stretches today, and this is what I call the X pose. I've done it in one of my live stream classes, but right now I cannot remember if it was this class or if it was one of my more athletic based ones. So if you've taken either of those, you'll recognize this if you took that specific class. But you're going to be on your back and you're going to cross your legs over. So knee over knee. So not a wide cross, but a knee over knee. And then you're going to be lifting up off the ground, and your legs are going to be apart. So it's creating, if you can see, an X like that. Okay? So like this. And then from this point, you're going to either grab behind your knee, elbow or your shoulder blade should stay on the ground, and you're going to pull your knees in towards your chest. That's the easiest way. The harder way is coming up, grabbing onto your shins, and you're going to notice when I do that, I pull my legs apart more. It's going to make it more intense. So grabbing onto my shins and then letting my shoulder blades touch the ground. And also notice my feet are going to stay flexed the whole time. So I started with my right leg on top, keeping that X. I'm grabbing my shins, grab whatever you can reach, drop that shoulder blade or those shoulder blades onto the ground. Toes are flexed, and breathe. Try to relax because this can be an intense stretch. That same tensing might happen where you just automatically tense up because you're in a different kind of position and your body's not used to it. So close your eyes, try to let your legs relax, your hips relax. This should be a good one for your glutes. That's where you should feel it. Breathe and relax. Switch sides. So I did my right leg on top. The first time I'm going to do my left leg now on top. Bringing it up, grabbing onto those shins. This is intense, gentle yoga. Draw those shins in towards you, flex those toes. Shoulder blades are trying to be on the ground as you do this. Breathe. Try to relax your hips, relax your glutes as best you can. Keep holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Bring those legs down. We're going to come into a seated position. You can sit on your pillow if you want, or you can hold your pillow in your lap, whatever it is that you want. Rest your hands on your legs. If your legs are feeling really like tired or maybe just achy, because sometimes intense stretching can do that, you don't have to sit in a cross-legged position. You could sit with your legs straddled or any position that feels comfortable. I want you to inhale, lift your shoulders up. Exhale, drop them down, and as they drop down, go ahead and give me 5 rotations on either side of your neck. So 5 clockwise and 5 counterclockwise. Doesn't matter the order you do it in. Relax your shoulders. Focus on a 2-second inhale and a 4-second exhale through your lips. If you're faster than me and you've finished the 5 per side, you're going to take your hands, interlace them behind your head, and you're going to let the weight of your arms pull your head down, so you're tucking your chin into your chest, but try to keep your shoulders lifted. So don't let your whole back cave with you, but keep your shoulders lifted. Chin tucks in. Hands come on the back of your head, and the weight of your arms, you're not pushing down, but just the weight of your arms are going to push it a little further. On the exhale, push your elbows back against, away from your body or towards the wall, pushing your head, stretching out your shoulders, your chest. Deep inhale, exhale, come forward. Tuck that chin in again. Holding. Coming up, pushing those elbows towards that wall. Deep and inhale. Big exhale down. One last time. Up. Last time. And breathe, relax. Go ahead, and this is going to be behind your back, but you're going to put your arms kind of like this behind your back. So I'm going to just, doesn't matter which one's on top first, just switch it around when you come back up. So my right arm, I'm just going to have that one be on top, but they're just, again, stacked like this behind my back. And then I'm going to, whatever position I'm in, as long as my spine is nice and straight up and down, I am going to hinge forward from my hips, keeping my chest lifted. And then I'm going to come up, and as I come up, I'm rolling my shoulder blades back, and I'm going to switch which arm is on top. So now my left arm is going to be on top, and my right arm on the bottom. Hinge again from your hips, come forward, breathe, and up. And we are done. nice and relaxed, hopefully. I hope y'all are. If you feel like a little bit more guided meditation, y'all know my IGTV has one of those guided meditations on it. And of course, these will all be on YouTube too, so you can go back and watch any of the past lives. Donation link is in my bio if you feel like donating to these classes, but it's not necessary, even though I appreciate it. But thank y'all for joining tonight. I hope you have a good rest of your Monday and a good rest of your evening. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.